Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. In this video I will show you in ASP.NET how to get the lost or newly inserted ID in MySQL phpmyadmin database. And here we got the output of that code. We got the 3 text box controls and 1 button control. Let's add the student details. The first name is Arush Verma. The email is av@gmail.com. Now before insert the student record into the student table, let's check the last ID is 5. So when I insert the Arush record, the student ID I want to get 6 on the browser. Let's insert the record, insert new record. See, here we got the message that the last or newly inserted student ID is 6. Let's browse the table and see, here we got the student table is updated. The last student ID is a 6. If you are a first time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates. For this video tutorial, I am creating a new ASP.NET web application. Go to File, New, Project. I am selecting ASP.NET web application and the .NET framework I am using 4.6.1. The application name is Lost ID MySQL. Click OK. I'm selecting empty from the templates. Click OK. And here the project is successfully created. Let's open Solution Explorer. Now in this project I am adding a new web form page. Right click the project name, add new item. I'm selecting web form. The web form name is Lost ID MySQL. Click add. Now here we got the source page of the newly created web form page. Now between form and due tag I'm adding center tag, center h1. How to get the last or newly inserted row ID MySQL phpmyadmin. Horizontal line. After the horizontal line, I am adding controls to insert the records. But before adding the controls in the source page, let's visit my SQL phpmyadmin database. We'll check the table and the column names. I just logged into MySQL phpmyadmin database. The table name is a student which contains 4 columns, and right now this student table contains 5 rows. Now my aim is, when I insert a new record, I want to get the last student inserted ID display on the browser. Let's switch to the coding part. Now I'm adding controls, 3 text box controls, 1 button control and 1 label control. Open toolbox, text box control. This one is a student name. The column names are student first name, student last name and student email. First name, I'm changing the text box ID, fname. Let's copy this one. Last name, text, lname, email, text, email. Break, horizontal line. I'm adding a button control. Open toolbox, button control. I'm adding the text label insert. New record is a button name. Again I'm adding the one horizontal line, and the last control I'm adding the label control. Open toolbox, label control, and from this label control I'm deleting the property text. That's it, we have done that designing part. Now right click the mouse, go to view code. Now in this code behind, the first thing I'm adding the namespaces using system.data. The second namespace is using system.configuration, and the last namespace I'm adding the mysql.data DLL library. But by default in ASP.NET, mysql.data DLL library is not included in our project references folder. We have to add manually. So let's add that library. Open Solution Explorer. I'm expanding the references folder of the project. Notice there is no any mysql.data DLL library. So let's add that one. Right click the references, manage nudged packages, select that one, go to browse and search for mysql, enter. And from the search results, the first one is a mysql.data. Select that one and install. Okay, I'm accepting the license, and here we got the message successfully install mysql.data to our project. Let's close this window, and notice there is also tick mark, which means this mysql.data DLL library is installed successfully in our project. Let's switch to the code behind. We'll check that references folder. Notice mysql.data is added. Let's minimize this references folder. Add the namespace using mysql.data.mysql client. After adding these three namespaces, now I want to add the mysql data source, the database connection in the web.config file. Open Solution Explorer, web.config file, open that one. Now in the web.config file, between the configuration, I'm adding connection strings. Add name is equals to mysql connection is the connection string name, connection string data source is equals to localhost semicolon. The second parameter is the port number. The mysql phpmyadmin, the port number is, and notice in the phpmyadmin 3306, which is a port number. Let's add that one, 3306 semicolon. Initial catalog is equals to, the initial catalog is the database name. The database name is a sample DB. The next one is the user ID, which is root, the default user ID. Password. Here the password I'm leaving blank because I don't have any password to log into my SQL phpmyadmin. If you have any password, please enter that one here. And the last one is very important, which is the SSL mode is equals to none. If you don't add SSL mode is equals to none in this connection string, we'll get an error at runtime. So don't forget to add this SSL mode is equals to none. After adding the connection string in the web.config file, switch to the source mode, go to design mode, double click the button control, and here we got the button click event. Let's write the code. String main con is equals to configuration manager.connection strings. Between double quotes I am adding the connection string name is mysql connection dot connection string mysql connection sql con is equals to new mysql connection. I'm adding main con, the object here in the main SQL connection string SQL query is equals to, here the SQL query is the insert statement. Insert into the table name is the student table. Copy this one, paste here. The column names are first name, STF name, STL name, ST email, values at STF name, comma at STL name, comma at ST email. MySQL command SQL com is equals to new MySQL command. I'm adding the parameters. The first one is a SQL query and the second parameter is the connection object, which is the SQL con. Copy this one and paste here. Let's open SQL connection string SQL con dot open method SQL com dot parameters dot add with the value between double quotes at the first one is a student f name, comma the second parameter is the object value. Here the object value is a text box control text fname dot text semicolon SQL com dot parameters dot add with value between double quotes at student lname, comma text lname dot text. The last one SQL com dot parameters dot add with value between double quotes at student email, comma text email dot text. SQL com dot execute non-query. And here SQL com dot command text is equals to the command text is the SQL query. You need to add this one. After that, int I is equals to SQL com dot last inserted ID. Notice we got an error, cannot implicitly convert type long to int. So instead of int, let's add long. After insert the student record successfully in the student table, I want to display the auto increment student ID display on the browser. So for that we have used a label control label1 dot text is equals to the last or newly inserted student ID is plus I am adding this I. Let's close the connection string SQL con dot close method. That's it. Let's check the output. Google Chrome. And here we got the output of that code. We got the 3 text box controls and 1 button control. Let's add the student details. The first name is Arush Verma. The email is av@gmail.com. Now before insert the student record into the student table, let's check the last ID is 5. So when I insert the Arush record, the student ID I want to get 6 on the browser. Let's insert the record. Insert new record. See, here we got the message that the last or newly inserted student ID is 6. Let's browse the table. And see, here we got the student table is updated. The last student ID is a 6. That's it.